Next up, at UFC 282, we have the main card opener. We have Bryce Mitchell taking on Ilia Topuria. A couple of undefeated featherweights going at it.
It's Bryce.
I'm not disrespectful.
It's not Bryce. It's Bryce. It's not disrespectful. Hey, it's not disrespectful. We got an Arkansas wrestling boy right here, boy. Tell you what, he's a problem.
15-0. He's undefeated in his career, obviously, and 5 of his UFC wins are by decision. Ilia Topuria, 12-0 overall, undefeated as well, but 3 of his 4 UFC wins are by knockout, and these are 2 grapplers. You're going to look at Ilia Topuria's last couple of fights, 3 of his 4 UFC fights, and you're going to be like, he's a striker. He's not a striker. He's a grappler who has phenomenal hands and power, and he uses his grappling. He gets plenty of takedowns. He's not worried about submissions. We saw that with Ryan Hall. No offense, Jacob. Don't get all worked up about it. But he was not worried about Ryan Hall's jiu-jitsu for a half of a second.
I know that he was getting dominated by Ryan Hall. He found a lucky punch, and there was an early stoppage. I don't know if that's what you're referring to.
I mean, some people are going to think that you're not joking right now, and they're going to
I'm not joking.
Anyway, Bryce Mitchell is, in MMA, a dominant wrestler. He doesn't even try to strike. Doesn't even try. He'll throw like 1 punch, 2 punch, and just diving at legs, relentless wrestling pressure, coming forward, shooting actual takedowns, and once he hits the ground, more relentless pressure. He has incredible scrambles. He's a ton of fun to watch. People think I don't like Bryce Mitchell. I like Bryce Mitchell. He's a ton of fun to watch. As a wrestler, I enjoy watching. There's like something going on.
That's God coming after you.
As a wrestler myself, I enjoy watching Bryce Mitchell compete for sure. But as I said last week with Jack Hermanson and...
You're kind of being a little bit, I don't know. I want you to really kind of say what you want to say here. It's almost like you're talking about Bryce, but you don't want to, you don't want to offend anyone. So you're like, I like him, I kind of wish
I've been very clear 100 times over, and I'm about to get to the point. There are levels to everything. Last week,
here we go.
I just couldn't understand Roman Dolidze, Jack Hermanson, people insisting Jack Hermanson was going to dominate. I just couldn't.
Speak on it.
Roman, I don't need a hype man. Roman Dolidze was a world champion jiu-jitsu guy, and he made Jack Hermanson look like a baby the second they touched the mat. And this is going to be a similar situation, and it's going to be a similar skill gap. Bryce Mitchell is a good wrestler in MMA.
What?
He didn't wrestle at any meaningful level at any point in his life. Ilia Topuria is an incredible wrestler from Georgia, not the state, the country, and he's just a completely different level of wrestling, of grappling. I don't think he has any problems with Bryce's takedowns. I think he'll get his own whenever he wants to. And I don't think there's a person, even the Bryce Mitchell fanboys, there's not a single person that could say Bryce Mitchell can outstrike Ilia Topuria. Right? In no world could that happen. So then it literally only comes down to Bryce's wrestling. That is the only thing that can win him this fight. And if you think some dude from Arkansas that never did any organized wrestling and has never competed at any meaningful level in wrestling is going to out-wrestle a Georgian who has dedicated his entire life to competing at wrestling, you're out of your mind. I like Ilia Topuria to win. These odds baffle me. And I got money on him. All the things. And this is going to get clipped and shipped, and I'm going to look so stupid when Bryce Mitchell Grant Dawson's Ilia Topuria. For sure. I just don't see that happening. Shaky boy. You're a big Bryce Mitchell fan.
I am a Bryce Mitchell fan. Arkansas wrestling, them good old boys, man. They know how they got that farm strength. They know how to get after it. I will say, I like Bryce Mitchell, and as you mentioned, even if you like Bryce Mitchell, the guy stands zero chance on the feet. I mean, absolutely less than zero on the feet. If you want to watch anything, find Bryce Mitchell hitting mitts, right? I mean, it's a pop, pop, and pop, pop. I mean, he's got, his head movement is like this, pop, pop, pop. Go to the end bend. Then after you do that, get some Kleenex, get some lotion, and come back and go to the embedded today that was dropped today on Tuesday. Whenever you're watching this, that dropped today. There was a clip of Ilia hitting mitts with his coach, and it looks like, rewind to like the 35-minute mark. That's what it looked like when he's hitting mitts. The hand speed is like, holy shit! Look at this guy. Because earlier in the week, for months, I've been screaming Ilia is going to absolutely steamroll this kid. He is absolutely going. I like Bryce Mitchell. He will beat every single person that he can out-wrestle. He can't out-wrestle Ilia, therefore, he is going to lose this match. I thought that Evolov was a much better matchup for him because Evolov is a decision fighter and will wrestle with them, and it's a little bit more of a 50-50 wrestling situation where Ilia will defend takedown, stand with them, and knock this kid out. But as the weeks kind of get a little bit closer, and I've been watching a little bit more of Ilia's fights,
he gasses.
That guy gets tired, man. I mean, he gets tired. And when he gets tired, it's like one of those like, uh-oh. He is one of those fighters that when he starts getting tired, it is like, uh-oh. So, if Bryce can, I don't know how he's going to do this, but if he can get a takedown or engage in some scramblings, even if he has to play guard game in the first round and just let Ilia kind of do his thing and gas out, and then we get to the second round. And then we get to the third round, things could get very, 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 very interesting. So, yes, I'm very, very high on Ilia. I think he comes in, just marches forward, gets in his face, finds a knockout in the first round. But if this gets in the third round, I'm saying I got a little sprinkle, become a premium member to find out what that sprinkle is. But I'm with Ilia. I think it gets it done on the feet. But the more this fight goes, it's going to be bad, bad news for Mr. Hand Sanitizer Boy. So, my pick is Ilia, though.
Didn't Bryce Mitchell lose his best training partner in TJ Brown? There
I
goes
don't know.
his best training partner.
I can't remember. Somebody said that I think they still train together from some time or from time to time. And I can't remember where TJ went. I thought TJ went to Glory with Krause, but maybe it was Extreme Couture. I thought it was Glory, but yeah, he definitely left. And but they're on the same card together. That's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, listen. There is a world where Bryce Mitchell can win. We've seen lesser wrestlers out-wrestle better ones. The Grant Dawson reference, the one I just gave.
Yeah, like if me and you...
Yeah, you would get it done. Grant Dawson just out-wrestled an Olympian. And Grant Dawson literally said, I didn't even place in states in high school. So there is a world, but we're not even talking levels of American wrestling.
Bryce Mitchell was, second place his junior year in Arkansas wrestling, 6A, and then 7A. I think he placed 7th his senior year, something like that, in Arkansas wrestling, which, as we know, the top wrestling we're not even talking about wrestling right now. We're talking about wrestling right now. The top location in the entire world is Arkansas for wrestling, and you cannot change my mind on that.
Okay. Clearly very high on Ilia Topuria. 100% there is a world where he gets exhausted because Bryce doesn't get exhausted. And my rant is not against Bryce Mitchell. This dude's done everything he can do. He's training. He's trying to get better. He's taking fights. It's against the fanboys. Those are the people that drive me nuts. The blind that refuse to see. How many times do I have to go back to that Joel Alvarez fight where everybody was just ramming down my throat how Joel Alvarez was going to smoke Arman Sarukian, and what a beating that was. This has similar vibes, at least with the fans. I don't think the fight's going to go that way, but similar vibes with the fans. You guys need to absolutely chill out and just recognize, Bryce might lose this fight because I think he does. Anyway,
somebody's O has to go, even though Bryce has already lost before.
To who?
It was that exhibition fight or whatever.
Yeah. He lost a grappling. Yeah. $8,400 for Ilia. I love it. If you're on the Bryce Mitchell side, you should 100% have him in your DraftKings lineup. $7,800, and you think he's going to get all the takedowns and all the control time? You'd be stupid not to have him in there. I'm on the other side, so I'm going to have
this is going to be the first time that somebody gets in Bryce, because usually Bryce can control the range because people want to stay away from him, right? So he can do his little what up, boom, boom, and then dive at legs. But Ilia is going to be pressuring him in his face, and he's going to have to dive at legs in that closed space, which isn't going to work as well. And now I'm talking myself back into Ilia. I love Ilia again.
Okay. Well, you have bets on Ilia and you were on him. Anyway, pick your side in DraftKings.
Have sprinkles on Bryce. Become a premium member. It is $10, only $10 a month, and I've made you guys billions and billions.
There you go. $8,400. I like Ilia. Certainly $7,800 for Bryce is a very good value for a guy that has proven he can go in there and take people down and score some very real points. Monkey Knife Fight strike line 61-38. It's probably I don't know how Bryce is going to get to 61. So I would say I'm probably not going to touch it. Maybe a less more. Because Bryce is not going to stand and strike. So he's going to have to get all his strikes in on top, which means he's getting the takedowns, which I don't think he gets. So I think it's a less more situation. Or even less.
No, because if he shoots a takedown, Ilia just out scrambles him, and Ilia ends up in Ilia doesn't mind just being on top of him. He's not scared of this guy's jiu-jitsu. So then it's Bryce playing guard game, which he can survive in the guard game. So I think that's where it could add up. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to bet on every fight. You don't need to do fantasy on every fight either.
I've got bets on this fight for sure.